Well, hey there guys, it's your good buddy Uncle Ben, and welcome to my very special Christmas extravaganza. For this video, I asked some of my buddies from such cool bands as Anthrax, Whitechapel, and Fit for an Autopsy, as well as some of my favorite guitar playing buddies like Ryan Bruce and Rick Graham, to contribute a very special music or gear related Christmas memory from their past. I'll also stop in and tell you guys about my own personal favorite musical Christmas memory. A huge thanks goes out to all my buddies for contributing to this video and making it awesome, and thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are having a great holiday season. Anyway, on with the show.
What's up guys, Aaron Marshall here, and I'm going to tell you about a cool Christmas gift that I got from my grandmother a number of years ago. My grandmother's always had this cool trend or tradition of putting something really unique in my stocking, something that I didn't ask for, something like cool that I would never think of. And one year, I pulled this out of my stocking. Maybe some of you recognize this, maybe you don't. This is an ebow. You hold it over a pickup. I love this little thing, and I would have never have had that without my grandmother and without Christmas. So shout out Grandma. Thanks for the ebow. Love you, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Peace.
So one of the first music-related items I got for Christmas that meant a lot to me was Clayman by In Flames, and for some reason every time Christmas rolls around I just feel the urge to jam that album because it was a really special album to me. And I don't know, I was in high school and I was still jamming Super Nintendo games, so it was cool to sit down and listen to that album, just play old games, and it's just something I love to do every Christmas. And even when it rolls around this time of year, I still feel the urge to do that. And only music can make that connection in your brain and leave an imprint like that. But that album, In Flames, Clayman, is another one of the big albums that changed my life. So that's my one for Christmas.
Hey, how you doing? This is John Donais, and I play guitar for Anthrax and Shadows Fall. A Christmas that sticks out to me is the Christmas of 1986. I got my first boombox, and I got my first 2 cassette tapes. They were Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, and Daily Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. So those 2 cassettes kick-started my love for rock and roll, and here we are. So Merry Christmas.
So, the best Christmas present I've ever received is this. It's the Glenn Gould Complete Columbia Collection on 78 digital albums in both MP3 and FLAC format, high resolution files. Incredible stuff. There's lots of different performances of different composers on this, but I particularly love Glenn Gould's interpretation of Bach's music. I absolutely love it. It comes on a USB stick. I was given the USB stick version as a present, and it's a lovely piano shape, nice little touch there. And I have to say, I will cherish this for the rest of my life. So this is the best present I've ever had. Thank you.
Jet-lagged Fluff, Christmas story for Ben. My grandma Sandy was always really, really supportive of me playing guitar and being musical from the very beginning. So every year for Christmas, starting when I was 14 years old, which is when I started playing guitar, I would always get the coolest present from her. And it was always the same thing every year. And what made it special is no one else in the entire family ever got me anything guitar related. And it was stuff I didn't even care about. Every single year from the time I was 14 to the time I was, 19 or 20, my grandma Sandy would get me a subscription to Guitar World magazine, and my grandma Sandy would get me packs of Ernie Ball strings every single year. And so after the first year, it was just a little slip letting her know that the subscription was renewed for another year. And that always sticks out in my mind because I just thought that was really, really awesome. Thanks, Grandma Sandy. I love you incredibly. That's my Christmas story.
Ben, good buddy Ben, asked me to send him a video talking about a piece of gear that changed my life, a good kind of Christmas memory, a piece of gear I got for Christmas. I didn't really get a ton of gear for Christmas growing up, but there's one memory I had that I know changed my life, and that was one Christmas my parents got me a couple Yngwie Malmsteen records and a Racer X record. Of course that's not a piece of gear, but I think what I learned from those, or what those did to me, was far more important than any pedal or amp or guitar could have received from Santa Claus that year. I got Marching Out and Trilogy, and then at this point I had already collected most of the Racer X stuff, but I needed the newest one at the time, which was called Getting Heavier. So yeah, I think that was probably the most beneficial Christmas gift I ever received. Anyways, thanks for including me in this, Ben, and Merry Christmas.
Hey guys, Tim from Fit for an Autopsy here to tell you about my favorite Christmas ever. I used to take lessons at this one spot, and one day I walked in and I saw a wine red Les Paul Studio sitting on the wall. The week after that, it was gone. They were like, hey man, somebody bought it. Of course I got really, really upset about it, but I showed up to a show a couple days after that, and sure as shit, there was a kid on stage playing that same guitar. And I was bummed, but I was happy for him. And Christmas Eve rolls around, and my dad, shows up with this fucking wine red Les Paul Studio, and I'm like, holy shit, like, where did you get this? Sure enough, when I went into lessons that first time I saw it, he told them to put it in the back after we leave, and I got it. I still have it to this day. Just so happened that other kid just bought another one that he must have bought somewhere else, but I still have it. I will always have it. Happy holidays.
Ben, for Christmas one year, I got my very first electric guitar that happened to be by Dean. So I'm like 11 or 12 years old, and my folks surprised me with this, and I was really excited because I thought I'm finally gonna sound like all the 80s bands that I'd been watching on MTV. I wanted that distortion sound, because at the time I was playing an acoustic guitar and I didn't know how to get distortion out of it. I thought hitting the strings really hard would give me that sound, but that wasn't the case. And neither was the case with this. I didn't know you needed a pedal. So in my gift box, there was also a Proco Rat pedal, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. Yeah, so it was kind of like the Christmas gifts that keep on giving. I still got this thing. I think this thing's awesome. So anyways, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to all your viewers, and I hope I see you soon.
So my own personal favorite Christmas memory goes back to about 1999, which is when I got my first electric guitar of my own. Before that, I'd been playing around on my brother's, but this is the first one that was mine. It was an Ibanez RG 470 and a metallic copper finish that they called New Penny that I have since hacked up and swirled and done all kinds of stuff to it, but I still have it. I'll never get rid of this guitar. Now that was a much bigger Christmas gift than what I typically got as a kid, but the deal was that earlier that year my dad had a heart attack, so he had all kinds of restrictions on what he could do around the house. So basically I spent that whole year doing everything that he couldn't do because of his heart attack. So I think that gift was kind of my parents' way of saying Merry Christmas and thanks for all the extra help around the house. I totally didn't expect to get it because it was so out of our price range, so it was a real surprise and a magical memory that I'll cherish for a lifetime.
My name is Buz McGrath. I play guitar in a band called Unearth. I'm here to tell you about my favorite Christmas of all time. The year, 1993. The big ticket item, the Peavey Bandit. I believe it was about $300 in 93, so by today's money that's like $7,500. So my parents had to sell a lot of angel dust to get the money up for this hot item, and I still have it, the original one that I got for Christmas in 93. So yeah, that was my best Christmas of all time.
What's up guys, Matt Wallen here. I play guitar in 10 years, and my good friend Uncle Ben Eller asked me to share a Christmas gear story with you. So when I was about 20 years old, I financed a Taylor 814 CE, which was the first real guitar I ever owned, and it was just kind of my baby, and I took it to Los Angeles in 2005 to record our first record, and we'd thrown a party in our apartment, and someone stepped a giant hole in the back of this thing, and needless to say, it bummed me out. I was a little heartbroken for a while. Before we went out on tour for the record, we went home for a little while, and I had left at my mom's house, and the following Christmas, and I had no expectation of this or no thought of it happening, she gave it back to me completely 100% intact and playing like nothing had ever happened. She had found a guy in Tennessee, an old, very old Southern man that works on guitars, and had it fixed for me, and I still use it to the day.
Hi, I'm Jordan from the Contortionist, and my favorite piece of gear I ever got for Christmas is this dual in-case guitar gig bag. Let's check it out. So these aren't actually made anymore, but I've had this thing for 10 years, and it is one of the most durable cases I've ever had, and it's a soft shell. So I'm actually able to take this, carry it on international flights or wherever it is I'm going for a gig. And there it is. Got 2 compartments here, 2 bases.
Hey guys, I'm Sims Cashin, and I think my favorite piece of gear I ever got for Christmas was this Ibanez RGA A8. This thing like turned around playing guitar for me. I got it when I was 12 years old. My grandma had bought it for me. I tried to start playing at Christmas. I'd only played 6 strings before, so like I never touched a 7 string, never like really got to mess around with anything like that, and so it was like, I was like, wow, my hands really hurt after playing this. Like I still play it now, and it's, I don't know, it's just one of those things I'm never gonna get rid of. Yeah, so I think that's my favorite piece of gear I'd ever gotten for Christmas.
Alright, the one musical gift that kind of sticks out in my mind that I was super stoked about when I was a kid was I got a wah-wah pedal in like 14 or something. It was sick. I've always wanted one because I just loved how you could just like use your foot and make all these crazy sounds with it. And I just played like Bulls on Parade and Jimi Hendrix, like Voodoo Child or something. I just kept playing that for like hours and hours. It was amazing.
The year was 1995 or 96, and I received for Christmas the Marshall valvestate bi-chorus 200 amplifier. At the time, I thought it was a ultimate Bad Larry amp, but looking back now, it kind of sounded like shit. But it was loud, it annoyed my parents, and it gave me the tones of Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and the Deftones, and I thought it was pretty sweet. And I still have it to this day somewhere at my parents' house. So, yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Doc Coyle here. Sorry, I'm all stuffed up, kind of fighting a cold here, but just wanted to tell you guys a couple stories, Christmas stories about stuff I've received that's changed my life. The first one was I was in 8th grade, and my dad got me an Ibanez Les Paul copy. And the second thing is a Metallica. You see that? Metallica Live Shit Binge and Purge box set, which had like I think 3 different Metallica concerts, and then it had some CDs, and I was able to absorb the entire Metallica catalog without having all the albums, and that pretty much changed my life, and getting to see them live, and that's the stuff that definitely changed the game for me. So Merry Christmas, and what I'm saying, Happy New Year too.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Travis from Inthios, and I wanted to share with you my most memorable Christmas gift was back in Christmas 1999. I was 14 years old, and my parents got me my first guitar, which was a Squier Strat pack, which came with the black Squier Strat and a little practice amp and all the other goodies. And that's what started it all for me. I was back in 1999.
So one of my fondest Christmas time music memories was this past year. Kristen, who works over at Nuclear Blast, she's a publicist, was able to get me a guest list spot with a All Access sticky pass for it. And Children of Bodom has been probably the single most influential band on me in so many aspects of my life. And that was probably one of the coolest things. I got to go hang out and kind of see the whole thing, because from a kid, I always had this crazy picture of what it was like. Having been touring for a little while, it was really cool just to kind of hang out and be in that group and just see things from that perspective. So that was probably my fondest Christmas memory that I've had involving music.
Hey everybody, Patrick Sheridan from Fit for an Autopsy here, chiming in on Ben Eller's Christmas gift video extravaganza. Unfortunately, I haven't really gotten that many great music gifts for Christmas, but what I can tell you is that one year my wife went out of her way for my birthday to pick me up 2 Ibanez guitars, one of them being my white and black RG 2627, which I have used on multiple tours around the world and played some pretty big festivals with and had on stage with me in front of thousands of people at this point, and it's honestly one of the best playing guitars that I've ever owned. Everybody enjoy your Christmas. Hopefully you get all the gear you want, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the road. Happy holidays.